Welcome everybody to Personal FX, the Collectibles show. John Burke is on vacation this week, but John Davis is off the road joining me. Good to see you, JD.
It's good to be here, Claire. That's right. I'll be in the apartment all this week, but of course, Io Haynes will be out on the road. Take a look at this shot. This is the reservoir in Cicero, Indiana. Today, we kick off our week in the Indianapolis area with the stop in Cicero to visit a collecting couple. He collects Burger Chef memorabilia, and she has scored with 2,000 bowling items.
Wow.
A bowling collection.
JD, this Wednesday is the Daytime Emmys. We have a special guest in the apartment. Aaron Lustig from The Young and the Restless is joining us. He was nominated as Best Supporting Actor. But by the way, see that little Beanie Baby on his shoulder? He's got a whole collection of them.
The Attack of the Beanie Babies.
They're so much fun. They're the latest craze. We've got an all-star lineup of collectibles for you on today's Personal FX.
Hello, welcome to Personal FX. Now look, we have Mike here, and Mike brought a couple of his sons, and we have some people here from Tulsa. This lady brought her sons, and one thing that we're finding a lot of young collectors, as well as collecting couples. We seem to encounter a lot of them on the road. In fact, Io Haynes is with one such couple. She's in Cicero, Indiana, with a true collecting couple. Right, Io?
You are so right. In fact, he collects Burger Chef memorabilia, and she collects bowling memorabilia. They say the combination of love for each other and love for each other's collections make this union work. I want you both to meet Alan and Rhonda Hunter. Thank you for having us in your home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, people usually collect for sentimental reasons. Is that why you collect Burger Chef memorabilia?
Yeah, growing up in Indiana in the 60s or 70s, you were either a McDonald's kid or a Burger Chef kid. I was a Burger Chef kid.
All right. You went every week.
Every week, every Sunday, my grandmother would take me religiously.
And Rhonda, why do you collect bowling memorabilia?
Well, my aunt and uncle have two centers here in Indiana, and I've been a bowler since I was about 8 years old, rolling it between my legs and hoping to get pins down. That's how it all started.
So you two have been married for how long?
For 8 years.
8 years, and collecting bowling memorabilia for how long?
About 8 years.
And how about you?
About 10 years.
10 years, all right. We're going to roll two strikes here today with two collections.
All right, that's good. We'll check out both of those collections a little later on in the show. But right now, let's go to the dining room with Claire, Mike, and of course, our great appraisers.
Yes, any bowlers at this table? Bob Connolly and Pat Dudley, to our ace appraisers. Please meet Mike. Nice to have you with us. What do you collect?
Bobbin head dolls.
Oh, the bobbing head.
Right.
We've had super
And then
collectors
yes.
bobbing heads. And tell us about the doll that you brought to be appraised.
Well, I bought this at a house sale. It's
Do we
a
have to
German
take care of
doll.
her?
I can't pronounce Mod somebody.
Armand Marseille.
Yes, that's it.
Do you
I'm
remember how
gonna
much you
scalp
paid for her?
$150.
Ah.
That was about 6 years ago.
Armand Marseille was one of the most prolific doll makers in Germany from about 1880 through 1920. And this one here with the 360 mark or 390 mark on the back tells us it's what they call a socket head, that it pivots. And the mold mark number 6 tells us it's for a 20 to 23 inch doll.
And it's Floridora.
Yep. And you can see that if you look inside, the eyes are fixed with plaster, and therefore they don't sleep, or what we call sleep eyes.
Pat?
She's an open mouth, and her body is composition and it's jointed. We'll be rather discreet when we do this.
Well, we
so
just
that
took
you
off
can
her
see.
hair.
Yeah, well, we don't want to give her a little dignity here. What's very nice about this doll, and very important in terms of judging bisque head dolls as she is that the bisque is very fine and very beautifully colored, and that makes a great deal of difference in terms of the value of a bisque
Well, how
head
much
doll.
is the value of this particular doll?
Now, is this a replacement that you got?
Yeah.
Okay, I would presume so. Okay.
That just came with
Okay.
the doll.
In excellent condition, which really she is, except for the hair, I would say, and without original clothes, I would value her around $400.
$400, Bob?
I'd say 3 1/4 to 3 1/2.
And with the
because
box, does that add anything to it?
Not really. It's just the fact that it has been totally restored.
And Mike, in that category of price range, you're welcome to put it up for sale.
Oh, sure, she can go.
We'll be happy to do that. Thank you so much for bringing her.
Thank you.
Let's put the wig back on. Thank you.
Okay,
and our
thanks.
number to call for any or all items that are up for sale throughout the show is 212-802-0082, and Ann is going to join us next. Hi, Ann. Good to have you with us. Where are you from?
From Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, what brings you to New York?
Picked my son up from college. Just
How
finished
nice.
his freshman year.
And where did you pick up this bag?
This has been in my husband's family. It was his grandmother's, and when she passed away, just distributed some items. My daughter Emily took it to her prom. And
Oh,
It's a very, very lovely beaded bag. It's a glass beaded bag on a pierced or open work frame with some faux jewels, probably from the Art Nouveau period.
which means what period?
Probably from the teens, 19 teens. Has a silk lining with the original silk covered mirror. Very, very nice condition. Very, very heavy, dense beading, which is very, very nice and very desirable in a beaded bag.
Any well-known manufacturer?
I could not find a mark on it anywhere. I looked at it with a magnifying glass and couldn't see anything. It looks to be a pot metal or a white metal.
I'd say it's a little more into the deco period with the round curving design rather than the flowing design, but the year is right, 1910. I like this about $200, $225.
I would place it in the $200 range in terms of value.
In that particular price range, is it staying in the family or thinking of putting it up for
I
sale?
might find a new home for it.
We'll be
Someone
happy
that
to
will
do
love
that.
it.
Thank you so much. And Danny joins us next with his baseball mitt. Hi there, Danny.
Hi.
Do you collect baseball memorabilia?
Just baseball cards.
Cards? And where'd you get your mitt?
In a garage sale.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go with my mom, like to antique stores and stuff.
Did you get a great buy?
Yeah.
How much?
Actually, I wasn't there. My mom was.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the days I slept in.
Well, it's made by the George Worthington Company, which made many professional baseball mitts. But this one, which is a Pee Wee Reese model, and it says junior model, which means it was made not for an adult, but for a child. Now, the normal pieces by Pee Wee Reese, their models bring anywhere from $50 to $150. But this was made for a child and is not that collectible as the ones made for adults.
More collectible in the toy category, actually, than in the baseball category.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's sort of a cross-collectible in that sense.
Give
And
us a,
it's
yeah,
got the webbing in it. I'd put a value on this at $25 to $50.
25 to 50?
25 to 35, yeah, we're in the same range.
In that particular range, are you interested in putting it up for sale?
Yeah.
Can you just, let me just see this for 1 second. If I had a ball, right now I'd put this on and I'd toss it over to John Davis.
All right.
If I had a ball.
Now that's a toss, ladies and gentlemen, and it fits you, Claire. That's what's good. All right, let me toss it out to Cicero, Indiana, where we have Gary, who has some interesting Japanese incense burners. Tell us about it, Gary.
I'm going to have my Japanese incense burners appraised coming up next on Personal FX.
Welcome back to Personal FX, and with Aaron Lustig, who plays Dr. Timothy Reed on The Young and the Restless. And this Wednesday, Daytime Emmys, congratulations on your nomination.
Thanks.
Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
Now, this is your first nomination?
First nomination, and I've only been on the show for a year, so it's kind of like one for one sort of a thing.
Were you surprised?
I wasn't as surprised as many other people were. It's really kind of sad. No,
Really?
I hadn't been on the show for almost 2 months, so the surprise was, for me, I thought out of sight, out of mind, and people would have forgotten, but they didn't, which is great.
So what do you think your chances are of winning?
Well, I don't think my chances of winning were as good as I thought my chances were for getting nominated. I think I'm the dark horse, unfortunately.
You haven't written your acceptance speech yet.
I did. I wrote it on the plane actually on my way here. Yeah.
You did.
I've written it already, and if I lose, you can come to my hotel room and I'll do it for
Or
everybody.
you'll come back with your Beanie Babies, and you'll tell us what your acceptance speech would have been. By the way, we're going to be seeing his collection of Beanie Babies a little later on, and you and your kids collect, so this is a whole family affair, J.D.
It really is, and we have an interesting family affair thing happening here. Pat Dudley and I have never been in the apartment at the same time. So this is a first for this family here. And of course we have Bob Connolly down there, and we're going to head out to Cicero, Indiana. Let's get the appraisals going. We saw Gary's Japanese incense burners earlier. Tell us a little bit more about it, Gary.
This incense burner was collected by my grandfather. He was a colonel in the Army. After the war, he was sent to Japan to rebuild the railway systems and collected several pieces.
Wow.
Is that metal or porcelain? Or
It appears to be made out of bronze or brass.
all right, it looks more Chinese to me than Japanese, but these things are sort of the arts and crafts period, which would put it back in the 1880s to 1910.
Wow.
And they were doing things that were somewhat atypical. That's a little ornate and fancy for what normal incense burner.
No, you do have a lot of very figural incense burners that have a great deal of detail. Is there any mark on this piece at all?
Not that we can find.
Okay, that makes it a little bit more difficult to date. As Bob said, you do have a lot of these that were made around the turn of the century into the early part of the century that do look like this, but you also have some of them a very early date. The bronze to me is a clear giveaway that this would be a later one. The patinization or the patination is simply not as dark as it would be on perhaps an earlier piece.
And what kind of a value do you think you'd put on
I'm going to put $100 on it.
Okay.
I would think because it is more figural, even if it is fairly late, I would say in the $350 to $400 range.
Wow. So we have a spread, $100 to about $400.
Do you have the cover that goes on the top or the square?
No.
Okay, I'll stay with my $100.
100? Okay. What do you think, Gary? Would you like to entertain some offers? Or are you going to keep it? You would?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Now, if you'd like to bid on Gary's item or any of the other items on the show, give us a call at 212-802-0082. And now we're back here with Tommy, who just completed your first year at Brown University.
Yes, I did.
That's great. What are you studying?
I'm not sure yet. I'm starting out in pre-med, but I think so is half the freshman class. So.
Good. Okay. Good luck. Tell us about your fishing lures here.
I've been going to garage sales with my mom, actually more dragged since I was about 2. And we picked up this item. I can't remember when, but we found it at a garage sale. We collect mainly a lot of old sports stuff, and my dad works for a fishing company, so we decided to get that and bring it on.
Okay, good. Bob, Pat, what can you tell us?
Well, first of all, these lures are mainly used with a fly rod, and these are called poppers. And with a fly rod, as you pull them through the water, the concave front allows it to make a popping sound. And they're not quite as desirable as the earlier wooden lures with the glass eyes and all. These are called bucktails. These are, if I can get one of them out of here, these are wet flies. And so they are not as collectible as some of the others. I'd put a value on this, $45, $50 tops.
I'm going to say just a little bit more, and Bob is right about these. Your earlier lures did not have eyes, and then the ones that came after that had glass eyes. So these are a little bit later. But I was at a sporting auction last weekend, and these things were going normally for around $10 a piece.
Okay.
So I'm going to place a value of approximately $10 a piece on them, and they're 15, so I'm going to say 150, which is a bit more than yours.
Much more.
Okay.
Value.
What do you think in that price range? Would you like to entertain some offers, or are you going to hold on to them?
I'll entertain some.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Tommy.
Thank you.
And now we have Bonnie, who is coming up to join us. And Bonnie has a Tiffany bowl. How are you, Bonnie?
Good, thanks.
Nice to meet you. Where'd you get this bowl?
It was my grandmother's.
Really? Now, how long have you had it, or how long did she have it?
Well, I'm not I've had it since early 70s, but she's had it probably since 1920.
Oh, okay.
It is a lovely bowl, and it is a Tiffany bowl. It's Tiffany's peacock blue, as he termed it himself. And it is etched on the bottom LCT, and I don't know that we can find it at this point in time. But
Very difficult.
It's difficult. We looked at it with the magnifying glass with the light. The next panel, it says Favreal. This is Favreal glass, which is one of the favorite glasses that was made by Tiffany.
And it's been used.
A lot,
obviously.
right.
It's
It was
been
made,
used.
yeah, it was made actually about or the first revealed glass was made around 2 blocks from here on 25th and 4th Avenue.
Wow.
And then it moved.
The problem with this is it's been well used.
And loved.
And it must have been a favorite piece because all of the iridescence in the center of this bowl has disappeared. And that's what people buy Tiffany for. And most of it we find in excellent condition. I'm going to be very conservative and say maybe $150 on this bowl.
Precisely what I was thinking as you were
Okay,
saying
well,
that,
what do you
yeah.
think, Bonnie? $150. Would you like to entertain some offers, or do you want to hold on to it?
No, I'll entertain some offers.
Okay, all right, stay right there because we're going to go out to Io Haynes, who is about to show us a great Burger Chef collection.
John and Claire, take a look at this poster here. Now, it says that you could buy a burger, shake, and a fry for 45 cents. A great deal, especially in the 60s. You could also buy a Wren House, which was a promo item that they sold there. Now, back then it was $5.95. Comparing what you can get for $5.95 versus 45 cents, you can imagine that it didn't sell very well. But today, it's very desirable and sells for about 85 bucks. When we come back, we are serving up a healthy portion of Burger Chef memorabilia here in Cicero, Indiana on Personal FX.
Today's collector speak is ephemera. Now, ephemera are collectibles that were not intended to have a lasting value. Things that you're supposed to throw away, like paper plates, tickets, posters. We see a lot of ephemera on the show.
We certainly do.
And by the way, today's collector speak is brought to you by Advil.
And if it's in great condition, then it's going to be worth something.
That's right.
Because you didn't throw it away. Welcome back to Personal FX. John Burke on vacation. John Davis sitting in for John Burke all this week. Let's tell you about the items that are up for sale right now.
And we have a lot
Starting
of
with
them.
yes, the Bistal, which is Armand Marseille. It is worth anywhere from $325 to $400. Dates back to about 1880, 1920. It's got a socket head, composition body, and it is in nice condition. And then we have the beaded purse that has an appraised value of anywhere from $200 to $225. It's the faux jewels, but it dates back to the 1910, 1920. Very dense beading, a very lovely purse. And the Pee Wee Reese baseball mitt, it was designed for a child, and it is worth $25 to $50.
Also, out in Cicero, Indiana, we have the Incense Burner. It's from about the 1880s to 1910. It's valued at between $100 and $400. We also have the fishing lures. They're valued at between $45 and $150 for all of them. There are 15 total lures, and they're not as desirable as the older ones. We also have the Tiffany bowl, which is valued, it was unanimous, $150. And it's a nice Tiffany piece, but the inside has been used and it's lost its luster a little bit inside. Well used, well loved.
Okay, so collectors look for that luster.
That's right.
And if you'd like to bid on any or all of these items, here's what you do. You call us at 212-802-0082. One of the things that I've just learned is how much you could buy for 45 cents
That's
years ago.
It was a value pack, ladies and gentlemen. And Io has a bunch of great items. She's out in Cicero, Indiana, with part one of our two-part super collection. It's a husband and wife collecting team. And so let's start with the Burger Chef memorabilia. Io?
John, I actually want to ask you a question. Have you ever heard of Burger Chef before?
You know what? When I was born in Toms River, New Jersey, and I think there was a Burger Chef there. Do you know?
Well, it's known for being in the Indiana region, isn't it?
Mostly the Midwest.
Midwest.
Yes. But it did go all the way out to the East Coast.
Very popular in the 50s and 60s.
I think there was one in Toms River.
Okay. Very popular in the 50s and 60s, headquartered in Indianapolis. You went there every single week. What was your favorite meal?
A kid's meal, by far. A kid's meal. It came in boxes like this. The neat thing about it was Burger Chef was the first restaurant to offer a kid's meal.
Wow.
It came with a hamburger, fries, and a drink, and every meal had a prize with it, as well as the box that you could punch apart, and it was kind of an interactive
And
type
here are the
thing.
prizes here.
These are the prizes.
So are you saying that they were one of the first people or first companies to do a tie-in with a movie?
They were acknowledged as the first company to do a kids meal, and they were also the first one to at least get on the Star Wars bandwagon, which was really the first tie-in with the movie.
Now, why are they not around anymore?
They were bought out by Hardee's in the late 80s. There were actually a couple, one in Florida and one in Illinois, up until '89.
Okay. Now, I understand you have a really interesting story about this golf ball.
Yes, this was the first piece in our collection. We found it in an antique mall. It was all by itself on a shelf, looking really lonely. I'm a golfer. And we decided that we got to take it home, and that was the first piece that started this whole collection.
And you've never seen another like this?
Never seen another one, and I wouldn't dare hit it because I'd lose it.
It's so strange to have a golf ball be the start of a burger collection, a burger chef collection.
Exactly.
Okay, let's take a look at how your oldest piece came into the collection.
Sure. These are the older pieces. We've only got 4 or 5 examples. They all have the grounded arches and the ugly chef, which was about 58 to 59. There's a meal tray, there's an employee patch, a lighter, and a deck of cards with the early.
Now it's ugly because of the face of the chef?
It just didn't go over very well. It was very indistinct. People didn't really relate to it, so they went to different mascots over the years.
And how did it change? How did the logo look different over the years?
The logo, from about 60 to 66, looked like this. It was more of a cartoon type logo with an appeal towards kids.
Of course.
You can see this one here. It's a puppet with a vinyl head and a felt body. All the logos that they use from 60 on are distinctive because they all have their tongues hanging out of their mouth.
Like
so
saying, yum, yum.
Exactly.
Tell me about this flag here, because this is pretty distinctive, huh?
Yeah,
And unique.
this is the piece that we probably display more than anything else because we hang it from our flagpole every late spring, early summer. To tell people that summer's here.
Right.
And I'm on a couple boards in Cicero, and they give me all kinds of business about me.
No one ever knocks on your door and say, can I have a hamburger?
Not yet, not yet.
Let's take a look at your signs here, because they're really unique.
This is what people most remember in Indiana. This is Burger Chef and Jeff. These were actual cartoon guys that would come on every Saturday morning in minute 30 seconds spots, kind of a serial, and you tune in every week to see what jams they got in and out of.
Would the painting light up?
Yes, it would hang above the counter. It would be backlit. The bright colors would just pop out at you. And they were kind of an icon of the restaurant itself.
Okay, well, thank you for showing us your Burger Chef collection.
Thanks for
You were
coming
actually
out.
telling us that you have a kind of competition between your wife.
Oh yeah, when we go out antiquing anymore, we race around the rooms trying to find. I try to find bowling stuff. She tries to find Burger Chef stuff.
Okay,
Wow.
so we're going to see what they have come up with. 2,000 pieces of bowling memorabilia coming up next.
Now, Io and Alan, they used the arch. Did that precede the golden arches from McDonald's, or was it a takeoff of what McDonald's was doing?
These guys, they were in direct competition with each other from the late 50s up into the 60s. McDonald's was really scared of these guys. A lot of the stuff that you see with Burger Chef on it, you can find an exact mate of a McDonald's piece.
Huh.
Exactly the same.
Wow.
So they scared them for a while.
Okay, thank you very much, Io. Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome.
Great
I like
collection.
that, Incrediburgable.
Incrediburgable, a new word of the day.
Yes. When we come back, Aaron Lustig from The Young and the Restless will be showing us his Beanie Babies collection. Stay with us. Welcome back to Personal FX. For the past year and a half, Aaron Lustig has been playing Dr. Timothy Reed on The Young and the Restless, and he has been nominated for a Daytime Emmy. But let's see him in action right now.
$20,000. It was, what on earth do you need it for?
It's nothing illegal, if that's what you're thinking. I just really need the cash.
What for?
An investment.
What kind of investment?
Obviously something really hot. I wouldn't have come to you like this.
You have a good time playing this character.
I have a ball.
How do you describe him?
Well, he's gone through a bit of a transformation. In the beginning, he was very cold and unemotional, and Phyllis, my cohort here, has brought him out of his shell. And there was a while I was wearing a toupee and kind of hip clothing, and he's fallen in love with her. And he was a 40-year-old virgin, and now he's what he is.
It's quite a transformation. Now, what the audience doesn't know about you is you are also a collector of these Beanie Babies. How did you begin to collect these?
Well, I use my kids as an excuse, of course. I have a 3.5-year-old, well, 4-year-old now, and a 7-year-old, and any excuse I can get to buy them something you know, it's a kick for me as well.
So you started out buying for them, and then you began to love them?
Exactly. I fell in love with them because they're completely non-violent, they're harmless, they're not very expensive. The problem is there are so many of them that by the time you get them all, it is expensive.
Now, show me your favorite one.
Okay.
I want to see the absolute favorite.
My favorite currently,
yeah.
You know, I change my mind every other week.
Okay,
is,
today?
Today is Freckles the leopard. Very cute. And,
He's adorable.
And my son's favorite, and believe me, it wasn't easy to get this out of the house,
what?
is this ghost here, which is Spooky the ghost. Spooky is the only non-animal in the bunch here.
Now, are you concerned about the condition of these? Do you ask your kids to play with these with respect? What do you do in their house?
They tend to throw them at each other when they're angry.
Uh-huh.
And
they can't hurt each other because they're just beanies. They're Beanie Babies.
Exactly. They had tags on them.
Yeah.
And each tag, each Beanie Baby has a poem and a birth date. And I said, please don't take the tags off because the value will go down.
And what happened?
And of course, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old pulled all the tags off them. So.
Well, we always tell the parents, buy two. One to play with and one to keep.
I know, but my wife wouldn't allow that, so.
Does your wife have a favorite?
Yes, Nip the cat.
Nip the cat is her very favorite? Oh, Nip the cat is adorable.
Very cute.
And what about your daughter?
My daughter likes Fleece, the lamb. She actually, I had my bag packed with many more of these, and I think she got into the bag and put them back in the box because she didn't want me to take them away from her for the week.
Now, these don't cost all that much. How much were
No, they were $5 a piece. They, I think, have gone up to $7. The thing about them is it's very difficult to get them, period.
Why? I mean, they become very collectible. Why is that?
Because boys like them, girls like them, and like I say, they're non-violent completely.
I got to show a picture because to show how much this man likes these. Right here. You are surrounded by them.
There's a lobster on my head, in case you're wondering what that is.
But I also read at auction that one went for $1,450. How is that possible?
I don't know. I hope that's not true because there are many that I don't have that I need.
Okay, are we putting out a most wanted? What are you looking for?
Well, all right. We have about 65 of them, and I think there are currently around 75 available. So there's 10 more that we don't have that are available, and then there are about 15 or 20 that they've retired.
Okay, loosen up. These are the ones that he wants.
All right, so the 10 that we don't have, and I can't remember all the names. I'm better with lines than Beanie Baby names. I know that we really need Inky the octopus, and we need Stripes the tiger, Ziggy the zebra, Patty the platypus, and then there's 15 or 20 that are 15, I think, that are retired now.
So you're going to make a passionate plea. If anybody out there, if you've got it,
I don't care what it costs. Please help me. No.
Very good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can I just borrow one? Just
Sure,
a little
absolutely.
They're adorable.
Thank you.
And good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Good luck in winning
Thanks a
the
lot.
Daytime Emmy.
Thanks a lot.
And come back because you have other collections.
Oh, yes, many more.
More. And John Davis, what do you think of Beanie Babies?
We think they're cute, Aaron. Good luck. And we have come up with a theme song for your collection. You must have been a beautiful Beanie Baby. Huh?
Wow.
What do you think? Okay.
Okay.
Let's get on with some appraisals. We have Michael here, and Michael brought us this, we were calling it a pinball game, but it's really a marble game, right, Bob? Tell us about this, Michael. How long have you had it?
I'm not too sure. Got it from a friend and a family.
Okay.
What's interesting is that it's mechanical.
And it dates back to
1930. You can see the beautiful Art Deco design in it. It's average condition. And the JS, I believe, it's the J. Stevens Company. And the fact that it's animated.
Yes, that's very important. It's a low-tech type of pinball machine, even though it is not technically a pinball machine. But what's most important about this is that it is baseball related, and that brings it into a whole different realm, and it makes it a baseball collectible as well as toy. And that's where the value lies with this. You will see these types of toys now creeping into major sports sales.
Yep.
Now, is it ever meant to have glass on the
No.
top or
No.
not? No, it was open like this.
I'm going to say $250, $275, just short of $300.
Wow.
And I'll push it over the 300
Okay.
to the 3 1/4, 350 range because it's baseball related.
Okay, Michael, what do you think? Would you like to entertain some offers, or do you love it so much?
I'll entertain some offers.
You want to entertain some offers? All right, thank you very much. And if you'd like to bid on this or any of the other items that we're taking bids on, give us a call at 212-802-0082. And now we have Myra. How are you, Myra?
I'm very well.
Where are you
thank
from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey, okay. And you brought these this glass set.
I did.
What can you tell us
Well,
about
my
it?
mother-in-law collected glass. She always talked about the wheat and barley patterns. And I really know nothing about glass, whether it's depression or sandwich or any of that sort of thing. And I also don't really know what some of these pieces are used for with, you know, without handles, that sort of thing.
And the double handles?
That's a
Spooner. And this is the creamer.
Mm-hmm.
This is a creamer, a spooner, the covered sugar, and a covered sugar missing the cover.
Not a good thing.
The one is wheat and barley, and this is called Sprite. And it's what we call pattern glass, and it was very popular from the 1880s through about 1910, beginning of the First World War.
But we have two different patterns here, and
Right.
they're not necessarily meant to be used together.
Well,
Well, you can, but most people collect by pattern when they collect pattern glass. And Bob is right about the age. It's a 2-mold glass. And it's collectible by pattern, really. And the
Okay.
spooners, by the way, people just used to put teaspoons in those, if when anyone's wondering what a spooner is.
Okay.
uh,
What
this
kind of a
is worth $75 to $100. Right now,
For the set?
yep. Well, it's not a set.
Well,
All the
yeah.
accumulation of pieces. The problem is that pattern glass was very popular in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and since then it's just dropped in value.
Okay.
So I'd say maybe $75 to $100 for
What do
all
you
of
think,
it.
Pat? Are you
I'll
in?
be in the $75 range, I think.
Okay, so
in
what
terms
do
of
you
value.
think? Myra, would you like to keep them or entertain some offers?
I'll be entertaining some offers.
Okay. All right. We have a lot of items up. Right now, we're going to go out to Io Haynes, who has part 2 of our 2-part super collection. Io's out there with Rhonda with a bowling collection, some bowling memorabilia.
Rhonda Hunter is our second half of our bowling, or our super collecting couple. She has a bowling collection that is so desirable that the Bowling Hall of Fame in St. Louis, Missouri wants to display a portion of it. Rhonda, what part do they want to display?
They like a lot of the participant badges. These are participant badges from the American Bowling Congress. When you bowled in a tournament every year, the participants would get these and hang them on their shirts, and a lot of them got thrown away or discarded.
What years are we talking about?
From 1900 is when the American Bowling Congress started to present.
So the bowls would just throw it out and not
yeah, that
save
does
it?
not save it, not think anything of it at the time.
Now this one in particular is very valuable.
Yes, that one's a very ornate, intricate piece. It's from 1905 from the American Bowling Congress. It's actually the earliest one I have of the set. I don't have any from 1900 to 1904, so that's as early as I have, and it's a neat piece because it has the bowling graphics on it.
Great, and they're in great condition. Well, speaking of your first pieces or oldest pieces, what started you in the collection?
The thing that started me in the collection is this little lighter here.
Oh.
Brunswick gave these lighters out as a promotional item for their pin setters when they came up with automatic pin setters. And I found this one at a antique mall, and it had the Brunswick advertisement on one side, and on the other side it has my aunt and uncle's bowling center.
Did you know that?
Yes, I looked at it, saw it immediately, knew exactly what it was. Saw it at the flea market, decided, well, I'll go ahead and pass on it because I wasn't collecting bowling at the time. It just had my aunt and uncle's center on it. And I figured, well, they have a million of these put back. Well, I got home, called them. They didn't have one, so I said, well, I'll go ahead and go back for it. Went back for the piece, and it was gone.
It was gone.
So I looked under a church pew, and it had fallen under there, so I bought it, and will not pass on another one again. So
you got it.
That's right.
You have to look everywhere.
Bowling. I'm sorry?
You have to look everywhere for
That's
these
right,
pieces.
that's right.
How has bowling changed over the years?
This is how bowling started out at the turn of the century. You had a 2-hole wooden bowling ball, which is very heavy, about 25 pounds
Wow.
compared to 16 pounds nowadays. A large and heavy, fully weighted wooden pin, all wooden pin, And these are the pins now, the plastic coated. They're all weighted in the bottom.
Would you say the pins are the same weight now?
Yes, they're about the same weight. The bowling balls are just heavier, and you had no control in the old days on your bowling balls. You just threw it down there and hoped to get pinned.
Right. Like you said, take it between the legs and throw it. That is wonderful. You bowl every single week.
Yes, I do.
What's your best score?
I've had a 276 before.
276. All right. Get you on the tour.
Yeah, really.
What are your favorite pieces to collect?
I like the mugs and steins because of the graphics on them.
Right.
This is my favorite. This is a 1909 duck pin bowling stein. It was actually a trophy given to the winning team. It's all hand painted and has the graphics on there and awarded to the guy on the back. And it's one of the oldest pieces and one of the nicest pieces I have.
And now duck pin bowling is popular where?
On the East Coast. We have some here, but it's not real popular because people just really don't know. There's not enough alleys. You only have 5 compared to 44 and other things.
Would you consider it to be like the putt-putt of golf?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
That's exactly.
So great for kids to go.
Exactly. Fun for if you just want recreational. Just fun.
Now tell me about your favorite all-time bowler.
My favorite all-time bowler would probably be Ned Day, and he's also the superstar bowler of the time.
Do you have pieces with him on it?
Yes, I do. I have a Coke piece up here and a Wheaties box with Ned Day on it. He's kind of the Michael Jordan of that era.
Really?
Everyone wanted him to endorse products, wanted to put his face and name on everything. So
that is great.
Wow.
And again, going back to how old maybe?
30s, 20s.
30s and 20s. Well, thank you very much for being our other half of our super collecting couple today.
Thank you.
Wonderful being in your home.
Thank you. Thank you for we appreciate showing it off.
Thank you very much, Io. Thank you, Rhonda. It's nice because you learn about the items, the history of a given piece. That's good. We'll be back with more personal effects and some more appraisals right after this.
Okay, let's tell you about the items that are getting bids right now, starting with the Armand Marseille doll, and her hair is on and now in place. I'm proud to say.
Looks much better.
She's worth $325 to $400, dates back to 1880 to 1920. And then we have the beaded purse that comes with an appraised value of about $200 to $225. Faux jewels made back in 1910, 1920, and it is very dense beading. And Pat is kindly holding up the baseball mitt. Pat's a real sports person. She knows a lot about sports, by the way. Pee-wee Reese mitt. It was made for kids. It is worth $25 to $50. Go, Pat.
Out in Indiana, we have the Incense Burner, and we believe it's Japanese from the 1880s to about 1910. It's valued at between $100 and $400. Now here in the apartment, we have the fishing lures. $45 to $150 for all of them. We have a big spread on that one. There are 15 all total. They're not very old, but they're very interesting looking. We also have the Tiffany bowl. That's valued at $150. It's well loved, but it's still intact, and it is a Tiffany. Again, valued at about $150. We also have the pinball game that we just saw. Michael brought that in. $250 to $300. It's from the 30s. It's an Art Deco design, and it's a baseball motif, so it's a cross collectible. It's either pinball or a marble game.
Marble game.
Marble game. Again, valued at $250 to $300.
But it looks like fun.
Yeah, it does.
So if you'd like to bid on any of these items, here's what you do. You call us at 212.
Pick up the phone.
That's right. It starts with picking up the phone, dialing 212-802-0082. Let's go back on out and see what Kathy has to have appraised. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to Personal FX.
Hello.
And what have you brought to have appraised?
I have a snuff ball here, and I got it at a rummage sale for about $5, and really don't know a lot about it other than it's wood, and it looks hand-painted.
And Kathy, is there any marking on it that we should know about?
No, none at all.
Well, we'll be happy to appraise it for you.
Paper mache, very tight paper mache, very popular from the 1820s through the 1850s, and the picture on it is actually a decal, and then they hand touched it up a little so that it looked like it was hand painted.
How can you tell from here, decal?
I've had probably 35, 40 of these. See just in the foot that's straight at the top, you can see that that's been touched up and a little hand painted.
Oh, the highlight?
Very, very, very collectible. I'd put a value on that of about $180 to $210.
Pat, what do
Very
you think?
tight.
I was thinking about 150 to 2. Snuff is interesting. It's ground tobacco that was used by both men and women during that time.
So you're saying it's not a wooden box?
No, it's paper mache.
Paper mache, really?
Paper mache.
Wow.
Interesting. In that price range, would you like to take some offers?
Yes, I would.
Oh, we'll be happy to do that for you. Thank you so much for being part of the program today.
Thank you.
All right, now on the phone we have Chuck. Hello, Chuck.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Well, it's
Good.
actually afternoon. Chuck's from Erie, Pennsylvania, and you have a vase that your mother got like 20 years ago.
Right, out of a hunting camp in the Allegheny Forest. The man was going to tear it down, said, go in and get what you want. So she picked this.
Okay, and it's from Czechoslovakia?
Right, and it's got a name of Eckwald on the bottom, and then 321/6. And I thought it was real interesting, and what it might be, how old, what it is.
Now, what's with the 25 cob?
The what?
You said there was one that said that looked
right.
like...
It looks like somebody wrote something in a pencil underneath the glaze. It's been glazed over. And I can't figure out what the words are or anything, but it's right under the glaze.
All right, Chuck, well, let's see what Pat and Bob have to say.
The 25 cob, is that incised or is it written in a glaze?
It's written underneath the clear glaze underneath it. It looks just like pencil marks.
Okay, so it's actually incised in it. So it had to be made during the manufacture before the piece had its final glaze.
Right, that's what I would think.
Interesting. Unless it was made, it was part of a signature of an artist, that may be, but this is really very much of a production piece.
Czechoslovakian glass came in about 3-4 years ago, became very popular. And the new wave of collectible is this pottery from Czechoslovakia in the Bohemian area. And they did a tremendous amount of this type. And by the garish colors, you can tell it's just, of course, Czechoslovakia didn't exist until 1920.
Right.
But this is an early part in the 20s, right after World War I. And the garish colors, similar to what Moorcroft was doing in England at the same time.
Sort of the English arts and crafts.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is a little later, but highly collectible. I have no problem with this at $75 to $100.
Okay.
I would place it a little bit higher, more in the $150 range, because Bob is right. This type of Czechoslovakian pottery is selling very well in the marketplace today, so I would place the value at $150.
Okay, so Chuck, you heard that. We're hearing between $75 and $150. Would you like to entertain some offers, or are you going to hold on to it?
I sure would. And
Okay.
It's a great show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for being part of it, Chuck.
Sure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And for those people who have any... Welcome back to Personal Effects. John Davis whistling and filling in for John Burke.
They told me not to sing anymore. Go figure.
We've got some big bids to start with. Let's go back to Cicero, and we want to let Gary know for your incense burner, we have an offer from Larry from Tacoma, Washington for $200.
I think I need to think about that.
Please take your time and think about it. We'll let you know. We'll get back to you later. And Mike, for your Biff doll, Gene from Tracy, California, would like it for $500.
I'm coming over.
Ka-ching. And for the beaded purse, Sue from Galveston, Texas, is offering $325 and 75 cents.
Well, Emily, it's going to go.
And Danny, for your baseball mitt, we have an offer from Pamela from Virginia Beach, Virginia, for $30.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
All right. All right, Tommy, for your fishing lures, Betty from Brownsville, Texas, is offering $85 for all 15.
I think I'll hold on to them for a while.
Okay. All right. Bonnie, for your Tiffany bowl, Roy from San Diego, California, is offering $277.
I think I'll think about it.
She'll think about it. All right. Michael, for your marble game, Mike, another Mike from Buffalo, New York, is offering $225.
Sold.
Sold. And Myra, for your patterned glassware, Thelma from Costa Mesa, California, is offering $105.50. To be precise.
Sold.
Sold. All right, we've moved some items here in the apartment.
Certainly have.
And we have to go back out to Indiana to thank Io Haynes and a great super collecting couple.
That's exactly what I want to say to Alan and Rhonda Hunter. Thank you very much for being our super collecting couple today. Tomorrow we're back in Indianapolis with Bobby Plump, who was a basketball legend here, and his life was made into a movie called Hoosiers. We're looking at Indiana basketball memorabilia tomorrow.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, I.O. Oh, I like
welcome.
personalities when you get people with
So
personalities.
do I, and I like having you here, John Davis.
Good,
Thank
it's
you
good
for
to
filling
be
in for
here.
John Burke. Our thanks to Pat Dudley and Bob Connolly for all their appraisals. And thanks to all of you for joining us in the apartment and at home. Make the most of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye-bye.